that may be stopping you from attracting your provider energy husband?
This is going to be so good. So, these are subconscious blocks.
Mm.
So, if you are ready to call in that amazing, juicy provider energy that wants to spoil you, wants to show up consistently for you, wants to marry you,
Mm.
even if you are a single mama, like how I was, or maybe you've never been married, that's okay. You're a boss babe. You are in the right place. And for those of you that are new here, what's up? I'm Natasha. I was a former single mama, struggling single mama with four
Mm.
kids, not one, not two, four kids. I went through a whole bunch of trauma and loss, had to do a lot of nervous system
Mm.
healing, a lot of healing of my feminine energy. And I actually specialize in helping our women do the same thing now so they can attract their amazing husband like I did with mine.
Yes. And I'm Coach B, former lifelong bachelor of 30 plus years, who, of course, married my beautiful wife. And I'm going to give you the man's perspective
Mhm.
on how to attract that provider energy man.
Okay, this is gonna be so good. So we're gonna break it down into three things that are gonna help you so much. This is something we've been helping so many women. We've actually helped over 1,000
Yes.
women up to this point.
Mm.
We've had multiple engagements and marriages, women that were trying to have babies, able to have babies, like all these amazing things. And just recently, actually, we had our first live retreat,
Yes.
which was so powerful, amazing.
Yes.
And without getting into all the details, the one thing that's going to really help you ladies that we want to share
Mm.
is it was so helpful seeing women in person
Yes.
because these were all women that are beautiful,
Mm.
beautiful, all races and faces, all ages. We had women in their 20s all the way up into their 60s,
Mm.
and they're all rotationally
Yes.
dating right now. And so we were able to really spend time just working with them individually and feeling their energy, hearing how
Mm.
they sound,
Yes.
hearing, really picking up on their subconscious
Yes.
blocks. So we're going to share some of that with you ladies today.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, make sure you get your questions ready. We want to answer questions as well, but we want to dive right into it
Yeah.
and kind of give you the information that we came up with even this weekend and just some
Mhm.
things that we want to share, give you tools so you ladies are in the right position.
Yes, exactly. And we're all about just helping you with the nuances
Mm.
because most women that we attract into our world, you've done a lot of inner healing up to this point. And that's where I was before my husband came into the picture, where you've done a lot of inner healing. You are beautiful, you're a good person, you want to get married, but there's these like couple little tweaks you just got to make and then he's going to come right in.
Mm.
I know this. And I saw that in my life, and then I see this so often with the women that we
Yes.
coach. Even just in the last few days, we had another lady just post in the FEA that she attracted her amazing man. They're about to plan a wedding and everything like that, and it's the same sort of
Yes.
thing.
Yes.
Okay, so okay, let's jump into it.
Let's jump into it. I'm excited.
Okay, so the first thing, and what's up? We see all of our people.
Yes.
We've missed you, ladies,
Yes.
because we were away for our Vegas retreat. But we see you, Alicia. Hey, what's up? Okay, so the first thing, this little nuance that might be stopping you, might be actually blocking you energetically, subconsciously from
Mm.
attracting your provider energy man. We're not just talking about a man
Hmm.
because it's easy to attract men, but we're talking about that provider energy man that wants to show up consistently and wants to marry you. And and equally important is you are ready to marry
Yes.
him. Okay, one of the things that we notice with our community is, I would say, 98% women of color,
Hmm.
about 98% women of color. And that's amazing. We love that, of course. Most women in our community are either Black, Latina, we have some Middle Eastern women, we have some Indigenous
Mm.
women as well. And this is important because what I've noticed, and this is something I've had to heal myself, is we have a lot of subconscious cultural
Mm.
stories around marriage and around men
Mm.
specifically. And you might not realize it, but it shows up as what I've noticed, especially this weekend working with
Yeah.
our women, that there's a lack of trust for the masculine,
Yeah.
right? Because for a lot of us, I'm not saying this is for everyone, okay? So if you don't fit into that category, we still love you. You're still welcome. I'm just noticing patterns. That's one thing I'm really, really good at, is noticing patterns and subconscious blocks, okay? And what I noticed was, for a lot of the women, you didn't really see that healthy masculine energy role model when it came to for women. So for example, a lot of us, like how I was too, where it's like they're maybe a great dad for you, but maybe wasn't the greatest husband, to your mom or to the women in his life. So that's a pattern that I've noticed with a lot of us. Or maybe dad just wasn't there, period. Or maybe dad said he was going to be there but then wasn't there. Maybe dad was abusive, right? And unfortunately, a lot of this has been normalized in our cultures, and then it stays with you subconsciously, where you think this is normal. And so at a head level, that 5% conscious part of you, you're like, yeah, of course I'm ready to get married, all this stuff. But then your nervous system, which is the subconscious part of you, is like, men don't feel safe, or this doesn't feel normal to me, so I'm going to keep avoiding it.
Yeah. And what happens as well, because of these subconscious stories that we tell ourselves,
Yeah.
when we get into relationships or
Yeah.
when you're attracting men,
Yeah.
what happens is you're finding things in that man that you don't like, or okay, even though they're coming at you and their energy is coming at you, they want to be with you.
Mhm.
Now it's like, okay, it's too much. Now it's like, I don't, it doesn't feel right. And the reason it doesn't is because in most cases, especially women that were raised by single moms, they didn't see healthy relationships. They saw
Yeah.
a lot of love bombing. They saw a lot of things going on where the man, his energy may have been coming at her, but he wasn't looking to provide and protect for her. He was
Yeah.
looking to get what he wanted out of it. So now when anything looks similarly,
Yeah.
because maybe you haven't done that work or even been able to identify those issues within yourself, it's like, okay, I've seen this before. Let me protect myself. Like you always say, the
Yeah.
subconscious, your nervous system is always looking to protect itself. So any sign of anything that looks like danger, you're
Yeah.
going to put the walls up.
Yeah.
You're going to make sure you protect yourself. And it's all about just getting the healing, because it's not that these men necessarily are love bombing you or
Mhm.
not wanting to provide for you, but it's that you haven't done the work. So you stop anyone from coming too close,
Mhm.
especially the masculine, from coming
Mhm.
too close. And then you continue to repeat that story. Well, this was wrong with him. He was a
Yeah.
narcissist. Well, he was just calling me too much, or he
Yeah.
wasn't calling me enough. Whatever the case is, it'll never be good enough,
Mhm.
because you haven't dealt with that nervous system issue, because you saw it potentially
Yep.
with your single mom. Maybe she dated a few different men. They looked good, they sounded good, but they didn't move forward. They dated for years, they off
Yeah.
and on, 10, 15 years. And now you're in a position where you've done so much work as far as making sure you're taken care of on a job, you have a nice
Yeah.
house, you've done all the outside work to present yourself in a way where, okay, people are asking you, why isn't she married?
Yeah.
Why is she by herself?
Yeah.
But it's about doing that inner nervous system readjustment work.
Yeah.
Once you do that, then you'll start seeing things differently.
Yeah, because we coach different women that are different stages in their lives, and that's what we notice. Like
Yes.
the women that are beautiful, they are attracting men, even if they are a single mom, they still attract men very easily, but they're not going to that stage of actual marriage. Typically, in that situation, there is a lack of trust around the masculine. That is a reoccurring theme, and it comes from the stories, what you've seen, what you saw your mom go through. Typically that's what it is what you saw your mom go through, right? And you're like, you kind of go either way. So I also went through that, right? And so I threw everything at my inner healing, everything at my inner healing, because I didn't want to end up like my family. And I love my family. God bless my family. They didn't have the luxury of healing, so I will never judge or shame them. And I never want you to judge or shame your family ever. Okay. A lot of them just didn't have the luxury of healing, especially, they're immigrants and they were in survival mode, right? So we're not blaming them, but I saw that, I noticed that very young, and I was like, I don't want to go through that. So that's my encouragement for you. Just get curious. We're only on point one right now, but just get curious. do you have some stories around the masculine because of the culture that you're from,
Yeah.
or how you saw your what you saw your mom go through? Because you could do everything perfect, you can show up on the dating
Yeah.
apps, the most perfect men can show up in your life wanting to marry you, but until you heal that masculine energy wound, babe, you will keep self-sabotaging, you will
Mm.
keep pushing him away.
Yes.
Okay, and of course this is an area that we specialize healing. Okay, so yeah, do you want to add anything before we go to point two?
No, let's jump to point two, and then I got a lot to say,
You
but
got a lot to say.
I want to make sure we go over the points first
Okay.
before we go too in depth.
Okay. This was so good. So, the second point, another thing that we've really noticed, and I do talk about this a lot on this channel, even before the retreat, was you're still playing in those anxious, avoidant
Mm.
patterns, or you're attracting men that are avoidant. So, just ask yourself, do you tend to just look at your dating
Yes.
history? Look at your relationship history, not from a place of judgment, just from a place of curiosity. Do you notice patterns in the types of guys that you've been attracting?
Mm.
Okay, because that's going to tell you so much about
Mhm.
what you need to heal in your own life. And you might be the avoidant one. I want to talk about that for a second, because that kind of is a continuation
Yeah.
of point one. This is what I noticed with some of our ladies, right? Beautiful women, super successful women, but they themselves are playing in that avoidant pattern
Mm.
because they don't feel safe.
Mm.
They don't feel safe around the masculine. So if you notice that when it's time to get close to the
Yeah.
masculine, and let me preface this by saying we're not saying for you to just get close with the
Yeah.
masculine. He needs to earn that.
Mhm.
He needs to earn that vulnerability with you. He doesn't just get access to you. Okay,
Mhm.
that's not what I'm saying. But for the men that are they're abiding by your
Yeah.
rules, they are following the boundaries, they're being respectful, they meet your love list, they meet your criteria, but you find yourself still like pushing them away.
Mm.
And this is typically what you'll say. I just don't feel ready. I need
Yeah.
to know him more. I just don't feel ready.
Mm.
Likewise, you attract men and they're doing all the right
Yeah.
things. And then they're just like, I just don't feel ready. I just don't feel ready. That's classic avoidant patterns.
Mm.
Now, if you are playing in that pattern or you're attracting a man that's playing in that pattern, that is a reflection of your energy, babe. And so, how you heal that, first of all, for yourself, don't worry about the guy, but for yourself, it's acknowledging that you will never feel fully ready.
So true.
You will never feel fully ready. That's okay. But how I help my women work past that at a subconscious level is we got to heal that nervous system and re-regulate that nervous system so it doesn't feel like it's in danger.
Mm.
Like marriage equals danger. If you think marriage equals danger, you're going to keep playing in that pattern, whether you're a man or a woman. Do
Yes.
you want to add anything?
And you see it so often, even
Yeah.
in other areas.
Yes.
We'll see it with work, like starting
Yes.
that business. You may go out and buy a computer, you may go get everything you need. you know, you
Yeah.
got the business license and everything, but
Mhm.
now it's time to start it. And if something comes up, like, you know what, I'm just not ready yet. Or even
Mhm.
that job, getting that job or filling out that resume for that dream job. It's like, okay, I'm not ready yet. Even if you're offered it, even if
Mhm.
the opportunity comes, even in relationship where he wants to be with you, where he tells you that I want to go exclusive with you, I want you to be the one, you
Yeah.
feel like you're not ready. You need to see a little more.
Mhm.
So if you're seeing these same patterns in business, starting
Mhm.
that weight loss journey
Yep.
where it's like, okay, I'm going to start January 1st. January 1st comes, you had a late night on December 31st. So you're going to start on the 2nd or the 3rd,
Yes.
and you keep pushing things back because you're just not ready. That's that same pattern.
Mhm.
So you want to look at that. That's why it's so easy to see. It's
Yeah.
not like you're like, I don't know if that's me. No, it's happening in multiple areas of your life. And you just want to first identify it. And that's
Mhm.
what we do here on this channel. We bring awareness to those areas, bring light to those areas
Mhm.
that need healing, that you need to
Mhm.
do a little more work on. And
Mhm.
then in the Feminine Energy Academy, we go deep and help you heal those areas. But if you see those patterns throughout your life, and usually what happens as well, you're not healthy in those areas. You're not healthy in
Mhm.
the area of relationship. You may have some health issues. You may not be consistent. And we understand that sometimes you don't want to be on this job, you're ready to start your business, but it's showing that consistency and dominating where you are. So I'm going to do as the best I can on this job
Mhm.
until I work myself off this job. But if you see yourself just leaving jobs because this one isn't for me, or I don't feel like doing this, I want a
Yeah.
better job. You're always looking for better. You're going to have those same
Yeah.
challenges in relationship, because
Mhm.
it's always going to be someone who looks better. It's always going to be someone with more money. Always going to be someone, okay, this one has one kid, this one has none. Always going to be
Yep.
someone that's quote unquote better.
Yep.
But until within yourself, you deal with the issues of what's not allowing you to commit
Yeah.
to what you promised yourself.
That's so good.
That's what's most important. Not
Yeah.
just commit to anything,
Yeah.
committing to what you promised yourself.
Mm.
Then you won't be able to move
Yeah.
forward in healthy relationships.
Yeah.
You won't be able to move forward with your health, or on jobs that you really want to do, that you study for, and that within your heart, this is your dream. So
Yes.
just wanted to add that to it.
No, that's so good. It's looking at those patterns. And yeah, another sign that you're playing in that pattern, that avoidant pattern as a woman, is you are constantly finding things that are wrong.
Yeah.
You're
Mm.
constantly finding things that are wrong.
Yeah.
So with the guy, he might be a great guy, but you're like, I don't like his bald head. I don't like the fact that he's not taller than me.
Yeah.
I don't like the fact that, he only makes 200 grand a
Yeah.
year, not 400 grand a
Mm.
year, or he makes less money than me, but
Yeah.
you guys both make great money,
Yes.
right? Like you finding these like little things. Oh, he has a bit of
Yeah.
a belly on him. I want a man with a six pack,
Yeah.
just, or, this is a big one that we see our ladies. His energy is always coming towards
Mm.
me. It's like you're calling in this provider, masculine energy man, which classic healthy masculine energy men, it's that sperm energy,
Mm.
right? Where they're chasing you, their energy is coming towards
Yeah.
you. And for some women, they're like, no, this is too overwhelming. No, this is too overwhelming. And I get this because that was me as
Mm.
well. Okay. So that was another layer of healing I had to do
Yeah.
before my husband came back into the picture. And the reason why you need to heal this is you can attract the perfect man. So I attract the perfect man
Mm-hmm.
for me, perfect man for me. And because I didn't realize this, I got a little bit overwhelmed too. And subconsciously, he was mirroring my energy.
Yeah.
So we were both kind of playing in that avoidant pattern, and he wasn't fully stepping up. We also did things not the right
Yeah.
way. Like we
Not the way we
teach,
teach.
not the way that we teach, right? We talked about, you want to save yourself for marriage, right? And the first time we met, we didn't save ourselves for marriage. We broke our boundaries multiple
Right.
times in
Right.
in that time period, and it didn't work. Right? It didn't work. And then so he wasn't stepping up. We talk about this a lot, when the men typically pull away after that. And I was triggered, and so but then I also realized that I wasn't fully ready to receive.
Mm.
So he was mirroring my energy. So took a break from that and did a lot of inner healing. And before I went back on the dating scene, he had already come back into the picture. He had done his inner healing, and we made it work. And this time we actually abided
Yeah.
by the rules that
Yeah.
we teach, was practicing celibacy until our wedding night, and we did that.
Mm.
But the reason why I'm telling you this is because it's not the guy, babe. It's
Mm.
it's your
Yeah.
energy, and the masculine will always mirror your energy.
Yeah, and just
Yeah.
adding to that, if you find yourself really not giving people grace within situations, it usually
Yeah.
starts with yourself. You don't give
Yeah.
yourself any grace.
So
Like,
good.
you're so hard on yourself
Yep.
with everything.
Yeah.
And anything that happens, like, why did I do that? You're just super hard. So you see yourself doing that with others. That's why the small things, like,
Yes.
okay, his nose is a little, bigger than I'm used to, or just small stuff that's not
Yeah.
anything to do with a love list, anything to do with negotiables and non-negotiables. This is just stuff that you're critiquing, because you're looking at you're dotting every I and every T.
Yeah.
And these things don't really matter when it comes to a relationship building. Is he a provider? No, this is just stuff that you're super critical. So watch it, because a lot of times you're super critical with yourself, and
Yeah.
it just comes out with other people, and you're walking around in your
Yeah.
head, and you can see, and we talk, maybe
Yeah.
we'll go into it in the next point, but you're walking around, you can see it in your face, you're just thinking, you're critiquing, you can see it in your walk, you can just see
Yes.
it in everything that you do, that you're not having fun. Even
Yeah.
getting to know someone for you isn't fun, because you're just looking for something. You're scanning, like, okay, what's wrong with him? Okay, he called me a minute late.
Yeah.
Should I stop talking to him? Should I,
Yeah.
it's every little
Yeah.
thing, but it usually starts within yourself. That's why we always say, focus on yourself first, and then you attract the reciprocal match for you instead of focusing on them and thinking you have everything together. Now, we do know you may have done some healing, but when you do healing, you have to have grace because you weren't always like that yourself. And a lot of times we see things perfect within ourselves, like, I got it together and you don't. But we haven't always been that way. We're all continuing to work on ourselves. And it's really understanding what's important and what's not important. If you don't have that love list, then you're just going around, by the, flying and making decisions based on how you feel in the moment, but you don't have anything logically to look at when you're deciding on a partner.
That was so good, babe. And I love how you said the little things. Pay
Yes.
attention to the little things, ladies,
Mm.
because how you do anything is how you do everything. And I'm going to use this as an example for our YouTube community.
Mm.
The feminine energy community is not like this, by the way.
Mm.
It's just some women on YouTube are like this, where they get triggered by me saying babe or baby
Yeah.
girl. And that really triggers you. You take that as disrespect. And so, what I'm going to ask you is, why are you so easily triggered?
Mm.
Because if you are triggered by a woman and a man on here that are trying to help you
Mm.
from a place of love, even if we are younger than you, even if I am younger than you, that you walking on eggshell or other people having to walk on eggshells around you is what's going to keep you single.
Yeah.
It's going to keep you single, babe, because if you are triggered by that one little thing, you're not even hearing the message. You're not
Yeah.
even hearing what we're talking about because you're so fixated
Yeah.
on me saying baby girl. And when I saying baby girl, it's because I am speaking to that inner child in you.
Mm.
I am softening your nervous system. This is what's going to help you do that. If I'm just like coming at
Mm.
you, and another thing too, this is who I am,
Yeah.
right? This is who I am. This is how I talk. But the biggest thing is I like to soften my message because there's a lot of women that are just going through stuff and
Yeah.
they need to hear this. Like,
Yeah.
baby girl, you're good. You're good. You're not too old. But if that's triggering you, I already know about your life. You expect people to walk on eggshells around you,
Mm.
and that's what's keeping you single, babe.
Yeah.
Okay? So it's these little things that cause you to stay in those avoidant patterns. Yeah.
And to that point, it's also a
Yeah.
masculine trait. When you're
Yes.
seeking
Yeah.
respect, right? You have
Yes.
to, that's a lack of respect. You shouldn't say that to me. But when you're in your feminine, you're soft, you're just receiving, you're not looking for respect
Yes.
as you're not leading with looking for
Yeah.
respect.
100%.
Right? You're looking for love, someone who, wants to protect and provide you. So
Yes.
you see that differently.
Yeah.
You see the word babe as being someone who just wants to, make you feel good.
Love on you, girl. I
Yes.
just want to love on
Someone
you.
who wants to share love with you. But when
Yeah.
your mentality is masculine, those same words are disrespectful.
Yeah.
So that's why we always say just looking at yourself, how you're receiving things,
Yeah.
how things sound to you, you can help yourself. It's not that you have to go out and figure out, am I in my masculine? These traits show you everything. These traits let you know, are you in your
Yeah.
masculine? As something as small as, do you smile?
Yes.
Do you smile? Are you
Yeah.
having fun? Are you happy?
Yeah.
Are you, do you talk with to people in a soft voice?
Yeah.
If you're not doing these things, you're probably in your masculine in a few areas
Yep.
and you're not having fun. So you just want to
Yeah.
relax, have fun, don't take things
Yeah.
personal.
Yeah.
Because this is the thing, as we're talking to thousands of people, no one said your name. So if it's for you, if it's for you, accept it. If it's not for you, then don't
Yeah.
accept it. You have to
Yeah.
understand that everything's not about you.
Yeah.
And sometimes we get so much in our head that
Yeah.
everything that happens around, we can watch something on TV and
Yeah.
somebody can say something that we don't like and we take it personal.
Yeah.
So understand the world doesn't resolve around you,
Yeah.
and relaxing and having fun will allow you to stay in your feminine.
That's so good. And I just also have to point out before we go to the next point that the women that came to our retreat, we had just under 40 women there in our actual Feminine Energy Academy. Their energy was so soft
Mm.
and in that appreciation energy. I'm so proud of you, ladies. I could tell you are the ladies, you have put the inner
Yes.
work in. And once again, we had women in their 60s, down to their 20s that were in there. And it was our first retreat, so things weren't perfect.
Yeah.
We had a couple things pop up. Every single woman there was like, "No big
Yeah.
deal. That's okay. I'm easy."
Yeah.
Like so sweet. So sweet. And they all have high standards, but so sweet. And I was like, wow, you ladies are going to get married,
Yeah.
because that is what men are looking
Yeah.
for. When Coach B, is on here and he's talking about, men want a woman that doesn't say a lot.
Mhm.
What he means is you are easy to be
Yeah.
around. You're not easy, but you are easy to be around, where you are not triggered by every little thing. You are
Yeah.
not scanning your environment
Yeah.
and scanning people for what is wrong, because that is the energy that is going to keep you single. I don't care how successful and beautiful you are.
Mm.
Yeah.
We can get to the third point and we'll
Okay.
circle back.
Okay. So this is actually the part two
Yeah.
of my second point. So we talked about playing that avoidant pattern, but another pattern that women tend to play in is anxious pattern.
Mm.
And what this shows up as when you're in that anxious energy is you talk really fast.
Mm.
You talk really fast. You might talk really loud.
Mm.
You might over talk
Yeah.
people, and you walk around really
Yes.
fast.
Yes.
And we had the privilege of doing energy and image readings on women at our retreat, which I really, really recommend you come to our next
Yes.
retreat, because this is stuff that you can't do online. You have
Mm.
to be in person, where we got the girls individually to walk,
Mm.
just walk, and then just talk. And we could feel their energy. We
Yeah.
could see exactly where their energy was at. And how you walk, like your body, and how you talk, that's your subconscious mind.
Mm.
That's 95% of you. So consciously, you might know all the right things. You've read all the books. You've had dating coaches, matchmakers, whatever. You're on the dating apps. You're gorgeous, right? But a lot of times we have these blind spots within ourselves where we don't realize
Mm.
how we're coming across.
Yes.
We don't realize our facial expressions. And the biggest thing that we notice is just how you walk
Yes.
around. And so I was teaching the women how to be more feminine
Yes.
when they were walking around
Yes.
and when they were talking. But what we noticed was the women that were very anxious talk really,
Yes.
really
Yes.
fast, and like, don't take breaks. If we ask them a question, they're launching into a story. Well, then this happened when I
Yes.
was a kid, and then this
Yes.
happened, and then this happened. Just get
Yes.
curious with yourself. Is this something that you do?
Yes. And to that point, if you find yourself in conversations, and I said this to the ladies as well,
Yeah.
if I ask you where you're going and then you tell me where you've been,
That was so good.
how are you today?
Yeah.
Well, yesterday when I was, what are you talking? I'm asking you like right now in this moment. So if you find yourself telling me where you've been when I'm asking you about the moment,
Yeah.
then you may be in these patterns as
Yeah.
well. But
Yeah.
one great thing that you said to the ladies this weekend
Yeah.
was notice if you want to know if you're talking fast or if you're anxious, just relax. Take a deep breath before you talk. Take a deep breath, or if you
Yes.
find yourself responding, waiting to respond instead of listening to what is said. As soon as that person gets done talking, now you already have something to say, or you're cutting people off.
Mm-hmm.
Just relaxing, just the different exercises that we went through on the retreat, just helping the ladies. And the great thing about it, we saw these ladies making the changes in the moment,
Yes.
catching themselves as the rest of the retreat went on. We did that, I believe, Saturday night. The ladies are catching themselves, and
Yeah.
it's those small things, because what it comes across as to a man is you're fighting with your words, you're fighting for attention, you're fighting with me, you're not cursing me out, but you're talking right back. Nobody's listening is what it feels like. It's like you have to say what's on your mind to say, and those patterns are caught by men, and men don't want to be in a combative conversation, which translates to a combative relationship and a competitive relationship, because again, when you're fighting, you're competing, and you're competing for words with the man, sometimes understanding what allows you to really have the polarity is sometimes not saying anything.
Mm-hmm.
So when I say cute in the face, small in the waist, and not a lot to say, that means that you're in your feminine, you're relaxed, you're not just talking, you're really listening, and you're talking when needed, but you're not just talking because you have a PhD or you have a master's, or you're the leader within your business, within your company, and you always have to end the conversations when you're in those positions.
Mm-hmm.
When you're with a man, even my sister, Dr. Samo, was telling us, even with her,
Yeah, she was there.
yeah, she was there as well. Having the role at work where she's a leader, coming home, she makes that adjustment and she's in her relaxed feminine. And it's understanding that and knowing how to not turn it off and on, but knowing what's needed for the situation and making those adjustments and making it a normal part of who you are.
That's so good. It's like, and it comes with that awareness, right?
Yeah.
So even if I'm coaching a client, I'm talking to her very differently than when I'm with my
Yeah.
husband. There's many times where I'm just, just not saying anything. Just
Mm.
even if I have something to say,
Yeah.
you don't always got to say it. And just from a nervous system perspective, what's happening to the masculine is men, how their brains are wired. They're either turned on by your voice and how you talk, or their nervous system is triggered and turned off. Most men will never know that. It's not something they're conscious of. This is something that we teach our women to give you, your advantage in the dating market. But how you talk to a man will either soothe him and he will want to be in your presence all the time and he can't explain it, or your voice irritates his nervous system at a subconscious level. And you could look perfect, babe. But if you're not aware of this, it's going to affect your dating life where the man's not calling you back, or it's going to affect your marriage as well, big time. If you're irritating to his nervous system, he won't have the words to say you're irritating to my nervous system. What you'll notice is he'll just pull away. He'll just pull away versus coming towards you. So that's why this is important.
And one thing we hear so much people talk about, well, this is just who I am. This is, this is who I am. This is what I am. But one thing we do know is you have control over the tone of your voice, over how fast you're talking. And a lot of times this can be cultural. This can just be how you were raised.
Yeah, that's what we're talking
And being able to make that adjustment where, if you're from the Midwest, you may talk a little faster. If you're from the East Coast, you may talk more aggressive. And what we notice is a lot of the ladies from the West Coast talk slowly. They're listening. They're just relaxed. And it's because of the culture, but it's still something you can make an adjustment on. Because if you were raised in a family as a woman with all brothers, you probably were fighting for your words. You probably were trying to be heard. So all of that matters, but it's you first identifying that, then making that adjustment. It's going to feel like, that, what do you call it, that imitation? When you
like faking till you make it.
It's going to feel like you're
Or
faking it. Imposter. It's going to feel like, you're an imposter. This isn't who I really am. But the more you do it, the more you become it, the more you attract the masculine. Because what's irritating to the masculine is rambling. Is it's just rambling on. Okay, I gotta blah, 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 blah. I'm asking you a question and you're telling me a story, and then you'll answer the question and then you'll tell me another story before I get to respond. That's irritating. But slowing down, understanding your tone, how fast you talk, all of that comes from how you grew up, what you're around, and that's something you can make an adjustment on.
Yeah, it was so, I mean, we love our ladies so much. And our Latinas, they were like, it's because I'm Latina. They're talking so fast. Or our ladies that are from from Chicago, and our ladies from New York, they're like, this is just how we talk over here. And we're like, we love you so much. And what I love about our girls that are from those areas is they were so coachable. They were so coachable. They're like, no, Coach B, no, Tash, no, help me. And so you could see them transcend that. And the beautiful thing about this, ladies, because I'm a hormone coach, that's my specialty, is actually healing your hormones and your nervous system, is they're like, I physically feel better when I slow down. And the reason why is because when you're like rambling on and on about all these stories and all these things that have happened to you, and you're fighting for your words and you're trying to prove yourself subconsciously because that's all you've known, you are playing in the patterns of survival mode. So you're triggering your nervous system to be in that sympathetic state, which is survival mode, right? Masculine energy, survival mode. When you slow down, breathe, be present, not focus on having to prove yourself or fight for your words or overtalk people, you are subconsciously signaling to your nervous system to go into the parasympathetic state, which is the rest and digest. And you will only go in that state if your nervous system feels safe. So you can see, like, God is so amazing. He
Yes.
doesn't miss, right? Like, all of these things are in alignment.
Yes.
This is beneficial for you and your hormones. So you want to, you got cortisol issues, perimenopause issues, adrenal fatigue, PCOS, fibroids. This is so important for you ladies to learn how to slow down,
Mm.
talk slower, and just be present versus fighting for your words.
And I'm
Yeah.
going to stay here for a second
Yeah.
because one thing that you have to know, as scripture says, life and death is in the power of the tongue.
Oh, so good.
And one route I'm going to go is
So
every
good.
word you say, your body has the emotions of what you're saying
Yes.
come out. So it affects your hormones.
Yes.
It affects your body,
Wow,
what
yeah.
you're saying. So if you're repeating old stories, then you're in that moment, you're crying, you out of nowhere,
Yeah.
you just start crying because of a story that you're telling, because the emotion is attached to the stories you're telling. That's why we have to be wise with our words and not just say anything and just talk about anything, because and it's good emotions that come out of it, but we don't want to repeat things that didn't work, repeat relationship challenges that we had in the past, but think we're going to move forward in relationships. We're thinking, okay, I'm positioned, I'm ready because I've done all this work, but everything that comes out of your mouth is about what happened that wasn't good. So you're bringing power to it. Your body is feeling a certain way, and you're not able to move past that point. So we really have to be careful with our words, and even slowing down how we feel saying things matters. I know if I listen to a lot of prank calls and listen to Nephew Tommy and all that, and it's so interesting because as he's pranking these people, they get so upset, and they're like, man, my blood pressure went up just by them responding to him. And it's a made up story. So I don't care if it's true or false. When you start talking, your body starts feeling a different way based on what you're saying.
Oh, babe, that was so good. Yes, that's so good. Yeah, everything that you say has a chemical reaction, ladies, and it's subconscious. Okay, so before we go into point number 3, this is going to be so good. We're talking about how different things that might be stopping you from attracting your provider energy husband, and it's subconscious. But before we share that, I want to also mention I just uploaded a brand new training into the Feminine Energy Academy, and it's all about how you communicate with the masculine, and it's do's and don'ts when communicating with the masculine. And we talk about your energy, and we talk about actual practical things to do and not do when you're talking to the masculine. And this time I broke it down into stages. So if you're on the dating app phase, this is what you need to focus on. When you're in the texting phase, this is what you focus on. When you are on the phone call stage and dating for marriage, like actually going on dates, this is what you need to focus on. It's like a little checklist of like, okay, Tosh says focus on this, this, and this. Okay. And then we get into engagement and marriage, like you're actually married, things that you should work on. And so it's the women find this so helpful because it's just another way of really understanding what you need to be focused on as a woman in all these phases so you don't feel lost. Okay, so that's available in the FEA. I'm going to repin it today, so you can watch that. Also, if you're watching the replay, it's going to be, or it's located in the Divine Dating and Marriage section in the Feminine Energy Academy. Or when you come in, you can just message me and like, hey, can you give me that communication training? And I will give it to you. Okay, you get access to it for free. Actually, you get a free 7-day trial, so you can jump in and binge watch that. All right, so point number 4, so important, speaking of which, is we went through a whole bunch of dating apps and dating profiles. So your dating profile might be blocking your husband from finding you. And we have really learned this, especially this weekend, because we were live with people. And so they're pulling out their dating apps and we were going through it. And what was neat about it is you have both the feminine, the healed feminine perspective, and the masculine perspective. And we see things completely different, but we met online. So I had a lot of strategy around how I attracted my amazing husband online. Of course, I teach you ladies in the FEA, but that was something, it's like these little nuances on your dating profile that might be blocking your husband from finding you.
And we go into a lot, and definitely once you jump in, send us over your profile.
Yeah.
We can look at it for you and help you walk through it. But it's the words that are saying. It may be even what you're showing as far as pictures and really helping
Yes.
you tweak that, because
Yeah.
for a man, it's instant. A man may, of course, women may as well, but for men, they're
Hmm.
looking 1 second, 2 seconds.
Yeah.
They're looking for specific things within that profile. And if it doesn't catch their attention right away, they'll swipe left. I think that's
Yep.
still what it is. They'll swipe left, move on to the next one. So it's really being able to capture that attention
Yeah.
within a short time frame. And a lot of times it's not because of, okay, I don't look right. Okay, I
Yeah.
need, no, it's about which pictures you're putting up, which ones you're putting in certain positions, and what you're saying. And most of the time, it's only a couple of words that you need to shift around
Yeah.
that changes the whole trajectory of your profile.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we'll get into some questions here in a second. But yeah, the biggest thing is your first photo. Your first photo is everything because a lot of people don't even get past that first
Yeah.
photo. And then it's the words that you're saying. If
Yes.
you and your masculine energy, I can tell right
Yes.
away. I can tell right away with the words that you're using if you're in your masculine energy. And these are things that turn men off, and
Mm.
it's subconscious. So you can be the most amazing, beautiful woman, but there's just certain words that you might be using that it's kind of like what we're talking about. It's either triggering to his nervous system or it's calming to his
Mm.
nervous system. And as a feminine, we want to be so calming to a
Mhm.
man's nervous system. That's when he's like, I can't live without this girl.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. We'll get to our
Okay.
questions now. We have Christy, who's one of our founding members in the Feminine Energy Academy.
Yes.
She
Hey,
says, "Hey,
Christy.
Christy, what is it called when you won't commit because you always think something is better?"
Yeah, that's the avoidant pattern.
Yeah.
That's that avoidant pattern. So, what I would encourage you to do, and I don't know if you're talking about you or the guy, because I'm not sure, but just in general, if somebody is like, oh, there's might be something better, it's
Yeah.
like that fear of loss,
Yeah.
right? That FOMO versus just deciding that, okay, doing what we teach, right? Where it's like, does he meet my love list? Is he showing up consistently? Do I feel safe and secure in his presence, right? Can I relax? Is our
Yes.
lifestyles matching?
Yeah.
Will he provide me with the type of lifestyle I want to live? That's what really matters. And then if that checks off, then you can bring the little things,
Yeah.
right? Like maybe you want to help him with how he looks. Maybe he needs to work out a little bit more, change his
Mm.
diet, or maybe he
Yeah.
needs to just dress different. We don't want to change a man at all. That's really important. You're not changing a man. But if there's like these little things that, like I can work with this,
Mhm.
then that's important. But if you find that you're still avoiding and you're like, oh no, I want to date other guys because of these like little things, then I would say it's that avoidant pattern. And then what I encourage you to do, or whoever's playing in that pattern, is actually just healing, your nervous system around masculine energy and feeling safe with masculine
Yeah.
energy at the point of marriage.
Yeah, and that's why
Yeah.
perspective is so important, because it's really what you're focusing on. You're either focusing on the masculine side where you have your love list and your negotiables and non-negotiables, or you're focused on just in most cases what you're used to attracting, what
Hmm.
type of men you're used to attracting, and in most cases that didn't work. So you want to really be able to focus on what matters and to be able to see it from a perspective of, like you said, is he a provider, and is this something that really
Yeah.
matters to the point where, okay, it's nothing, it's always, like I said, it's always something better, but
Yeah.
in what area are you looking for?
Hmm.
And how long do you want to play that game where
Yeah.
I'm going to wait out? Because one thing that's not waiting is time. So
Yeah.
you continue to get
Yeah.
older, you continue, and we know this, you talk about this
Yeah.
specifically
Yeah.
about the perceived market value of women, and the time and understanding 5 years from now is a lot different from the type of guy you'll attract today.
Yeah.
So waiting doesn't mean that you won't get a guy, but now your options are different. And
Hmm.
you have to understand and be okay with that. So the time to strike is always now. If
Yeah.
you find that, if that guy that comes around is the type of guy who
Yeah.
checks the boxes as far as really being that provider energy guy.
Yeah, exactly. And just so you know, we have women in our community right now who are in their 60s and they have multiple men in their dating rotation, and they're dating for marriage. And these women, they take care of their hormones.
Yeah.
They take care of their body. They look good. Let me
Mhm.
tell you, they look good. They look like 40-year-olds, beautiful women. Okay.
Mhm.
But that's what we teach our women to do. You
Yeah.
you got options when you take care of yourself. So
Yes. Lena, who I believe, yeah, Lena,
yes.
who's in the
Hey,
FE. Hey,
Lena.
Lena. She said, "What's the deal with the random calls? I usually respond with a text when I'm able to, but it's been several calls. Is this a thing?" So I'm trying to figure out what, maybe I missed something.
Oh,
What
so when
random calls mean?
guys just like randomly call you.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. They just checking the temperature,
Yeah,
right?
literally. Why do guys do that?
Exactly. They just checking to see if, they still got access to you. So responding in
Yeah.
any type of way. Now, if you respond to a phone call and then you just let them know, okay, stop calling me, or why are you calling, all of this, that's one thing. But when they
Mhm.
consistently do it and you're consistently responding, even if it's dismissive, men take that as there's still something there. It may be it may be fading, but your response without telling them to stop reaching out to you lets them know, and they're just checking in on you. You may, if you, depending on how you respond, you may get a follow-up within a couple of
Mhm.
days. I was thinking about you. They're working their way back up, but if they just want to see if they have access to you by reaching out periodically.
That's so good.
There was another question
And
before that. Can
and
you add that to it as well, Lena?
well, and
Go ahead.
and Lena, what I encourage you to do, because men will just do this, like it doesn't even matter. Men will do stuff like this. It's just you just staying connected to what you're calling in, doing the stuff that we teach, where you're scripting, you're praying for your husband, and you're just so connected to your love list and who you're calling in. And the wrong guys, just don't give them any attention. And the right guys that are
Yeah,
showing up consistently for you, that are dating you for the purpose of marriage, those are the guys that get your energy.
yeah,
You don't have to give everyone your energy.
and I even gave examples of when I reached out to, well, after our detachment, and then
Yeah.
I reached back out to her. When I reached out to it, it could have been a check-in, but I knew what I wanted for one, but
Mhm.
she wasn't just allowing any conversation.
Yeah.
So I knew that, I felt it in her energy. So when I came correct, I knew that, potentially I had an opportunity. But if I would have come just with that same, "Oh, how you doing? I'm
Yeah.
thinking of you," you all wouldn't see me on here with her.
Yeah.
I can say
Okay.
that for a fact.
Okay. Okay.
We can now. Christy has a follow up to her first question. She says, "I also think I can be too short with answers. I just tend to answer and not go through the fours. What is it called when I'm not saying much? I listen to other women and think, am I talking too little?"
Mm.
Well, I think in this case, especially understanding, knowing you someone and listening to your earlier question, with this, it's you really, it's not that you're talking too little, but it's really not being in the moment, not being present enough or caring to even talk. Because it's a lot of times when you're interested in the conversation, it's easy flowing back and forth. This is more like you're thinking. You're just sitting there thinking, what should I
Mm.
say? What should I do?
Mm.
Instead of having fun,
Mm.
instead of enjoying yourself and thinking about this. Are you smiling when you're talking to them? Are you
Mm.
just having fun, just in your receiving energy? Or is it a task? Is it like, okay, I don't like what he's talking about. I don't know I don't care about what he's talking about. I ain't got nothing to say. I'm just gonna respond. Because if you're having fun, it doesn't matter who you're talking to. It doesn't matter what you're talking about. You're enjoying the conversation. You're not overthinking, am I saying too much or too little? That statement
Yeah.
within itself lets me know that you're in your head when you're having these conversations with men.
Yeah.
And men can sense that. And men don't want it to feel like they're at work. This is another task talking to you, and it may be a lot of silence, a lot of awkward silence when you're talking to guys. So it's really you having fun, not overthinking, and just enjoying the moment, enjoying the fact that someone wants to spend time with you. If this is your husband or if it's just a one date, just having that fun energy will help change things, because you don't want to overthink and
Mhm.
break down everything within the conversation.
Yeah, exactly. So it goes back to, what I've been teaching you ladies is your ability to hold pleasure, your ability to hold love, to have fun.
Hmm.
Because, I mean, everyone around you is going to mirror your energy. So a man's not going to have fun and feel at peace in your presence if you're not having fun
Hmm.
and feeling peace in your own presence. And that's like, the great, you know, paradox of life. It's
Yeah.
like once you actually just let go, detach, and have a lot of fun
Hmm.
within yourself and a lot of peace within yourself where you're not overthinking, where I'm like, should I say this? Should I not say this? Should I
Yeah.
say this?
Yeah.
But you're just like having fun and enjoying it. One is you're going to be able to be more present. So you'll find yourself not
Yeah.
talking as much, and you're just more present. But two is men just love to be around you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And usually traits with that type of thinking is you're super hard on yourself.
Yeah.
You don't want to make mistakes because anytime you're
Yeah.
overthinking, you're trying to see what should I say? I'm not just going to say anything.
Yeah.
And that's, there's nothing wrong with being careful with your words, but sometimes, I say stuff and then I'm like, oh well, I
Yeah.
said it, it wasn't
Whatever.
hurting anybody, but I'll move on from it. So you can't be afraid to make a mistake.
Yeah.
You can't be afraid to say something that's not well thought out.
Yeah.
You just have to let it flow, have fun.
Yeah. No fear of rejection. If
Yeah.
it's, once again, it's that energy, and this is for a lot of ladies, not just you, but that fear of rejection, that fear if I say the wrong thing, if I
Mm.
make a mistake,
Yeah.
people aren't going to love me. And that's that childhood abandonment wound, right? So it's really loving on that children and that child, that inner child, and like, no, it's okay.
Yeah.
If you say the wrong thing, whatever,
Yes. Yes.
the right man will still love you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think we have another one from one of our FEA ladies. Says, "Do I need a love list when I'm not interested in dating anyone?" So, and this is a good point, and I talk about this with the ladies as well. Not even the question, but just take your time. This is one question. I don't want to go on and keep reading, and you got 5 questions. I'm going to answer your first question first.
Yeah.
Do I need a love list when I'm not interested in dating anymore? I think the simple answer to that is if you're not looking to date, you don't need a love list for a man because you're not looking to attract a man.
Yeah.
So maybe if you want a love list for yourself or whatever the case, but
Yeah.
no one's obligated to date. We're just giving you
Yeah.
tips and tools if that's something you want to do, if you want to date for marriage.
Yeah.
Go
Can it,
ahead.
yeah. And I mean, you can have this for different areas of your life. You can have a love list for the type of clients you want to
Yeah.
attract, right? Or the love list for yourself. How do you want to be? Because having a love list, the point of having a love list is to bring clarity to your energy.
Mm.
If you don't have clarity in your energy, you start attracting all kinds of things.
Yeah.
But when you're really clear in your energy, you start to, you know what you want to attract and you know what to say no to. And what's also really important about having a love list is so you become that person.
Mm.
You need to become that
Yeah.
match. Because a lot of times women are like, this is what I want.
Yeah.
But it's like, are you becoming that person that can receive that?
Mm.
Right. So, I mean, if you're not dating, then no, you don't need that. But when you're saying you're not dating, that I guess that means you're not even talking to guys, you're
Yeah.
not in a situationship, right? Because sometimes women are like, oh, I don't really want a guy, but really, and I'm not saying this is you, but
Yeah.
sometimes women say that because they don't want to feel rejection,
Mm.
but they are low key playing in a
Yeah.
situationship or, talking to these random guys, but don't want to fully say that they're dating because they don't want to feel that rejection.
Yeah.
So, regardless, I think you need to have clarity in your energy.
Yes.
Yeah.
And just adding to it, she said, getting approached here and there now, and I am wanting to focus on just leveling and activating up my femininity
Yeah.
primarily.
And I totally get that. So it's and I went through that phase as well. It's where it's like, no, I don't want to actively date right now. I just want to I realize there's things I need to work on within myself first. So that's totally okay to have that, babe, where you're just working on yourself. That's why in the FEA and the Feminine Energy Academy, I have, the hormone weight loss programs. I have feminine energy programs in there, inner healing, healing your nervous system. And then we also have dating, dating and marriage programs. But that's not all of it. A lot of it is just your own personal development. And even becoming a relaxed money magnet program I have in there to help you heal your relationship around money and receiving. And no matter what area you work on, it's going to benefit your dating life once you decide to date.
Yes.
Yeah.
Another question from one of the FEA ladies said, I get phrases like intoxicating or you feel good. Oh, excuse me, but you play it very close to the vest. Is that being in my head?
But you what?
You play it close to the vest, like you don't share much.
Oh.
You're keeping things close to
Oh,
you,
okay.
and
I've never heard that before.
yeah, yeah. So phrases like intoxicating or you feel good, but you play it very close to the vest. Let me see. Is that being in my head? But
So, okay, so what I'm understanding you're saying is you're attracting people or they're saying stuff to you,
mhm,
but you're keeping to yourself. Is that
yeah,
what you're saying?
but she's not opening up to him.
Yeah. So anytime you're not opening up, well, first of all, you don't need to open up to everybody,
Hmm.
right? You open up to people that earn your
Yeah.
vulnerability. Okay. That's really important, ladies. But you can still have an open heart with boundaries. An open heart with boundaries.
Hmm.
Open heart with boundaries means you've done your inner healing. Your heart is open, but you also have certain boundaries and standards for
Hmm.
certain people. Now, if you find that you're just closed off and you keep things to yourself, then yeah, that definitely is a sign of healing that you're needing because that's that avoidant pattern
Yeah.
where getting too close to people or allowing people to get too close to you doesn't feel safe.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Yeah.
if it's consistently where men are saying that, you're not opening up, then you have to really look at, is this something that, like, just patterns in your life? Is it
Yeah.
something that's been happening where maybe, you're 30, 40 years old and you've never been in a serious relationship. You've never dated
Mhm.
for marriage, but you continue to attract different type
Yeah.
of guys. So you really, if that's you, really jump in. I believe you are in the Feminine Energy Academy, but just start listening to some of those audios, those nervous system audios. What is it
Yeah.
that's causing you not to want to open up? Because if people are consistently saying it, usually you're the issue, and not issue like you're a bad person, but some things that are going on with you need to be addressed so you can feel free to open up
Mhm.
without giving them, don't give them everything. Because I
Yeah.
always say, don't give men the benefit of the
Yeah.
doubt just because you want to make them
Yeah.
feel good. People have to earn it.
Yeah.
But if you feel like you're getting to places in your life and then things are getting stagnant, not going past that point, then you want to look into it. So definitely just binge watch, binge listen
Yeah.
in the Feminine Energy Academy. Reach out and let us know so we can help guide you through exactly which audios to listen to.
Exactly. And what's up, Isabella, all the way from
Isabella.
Hawaii? We have some Hawaiian ladies in our FEA. One of our ladies came to our retreat all the way from Hawaii.
Yes.
She was amazing. She brought me this flower, which I didn't know that, ladies, if you wear it on the left side, that means you're married. And if you wear it on
Mm,
the right side, that means you're single.
mm.
Yeah. So that
So
was that
good.
was pretty cool as well.
So good.
And also, so this month we are starting a brand new series in the Feminine Energy Academy where I'm going to be helping you ladies live a soft life.
Mm,
So this week we're going to be really going deep on your hormones, your nervous system. So if you're struggling with hormone issues, ladies, perimenopause, menopause, adrenal fatigue, PCOS, fibroids, insulin resistance, anything like that, we're going to be talking about that this weekend. And also just longevity, how to
mm.
boost your longevity so you can live a long, healthy life and age in reverse. So you
Yes.
got lots of energy and you're looking good. That's this weekend. And then the weekend after that, Coach B and I are doing a class together where we're helping you live your soft life in relationships and dating and marriage. The third week, it's going to be around your money, your
Mm.
energetics around money. Okay. And then the fourth week is always unfiltered Coach
Yes.
B, where
Yes.
he's coaching the ladies on the masculine perspective. But you can, once again, you can try it out for free. You can jump in, binge watch, see if it's something that you're interested in. You get also access to my brand new training that I just added around communication and all the different stages, dating, dating apps, texting, phone calls, going on dates, and in the marriage as well.
Yes.
And if you want us to look at your dating profile,
Mm.
then you can send it our way. I also have dating app profile masterclasses for you ladies. I even show you my dating profile
Mm.
that I use to attract my husband so you can see the type of photos I use and what we encourage and the types of words that we encourage so you can attract him instead
Yes.
of repelling him. Yeah.
Yes. Isabella looks like she has something. I'll just go ahead and share Isabella in the FEA. Her daughter Rosie just said, "Hi. My
Uh-huh.
daughter knows you are
Hi,
my coach.
Rosie.
She knows you're my coach." My daughter got so excited everything we see you live and say my
Aw.
name. It makes my daughter's Rain and Rose feels so
Hi,
seen.
Rain and
Rain and
Rose.
Rose, how are
Oh, I love
you?
those names too.
Rain and
Those are
Rose.
beautiful
Yes.
names, and all the way in Hawaii.
Yes.
We're gonna come to Hawaii one day
Yes,
too.
that's
Don't
on the
worry.
list. But we have so
Yep.
much, like you said, so much coming up in the next,
Yep.
even this month and moving forward. So
Yes.
we're going to share the pictures from the retreat within the Feminine Energy Academy. So make sure you jump in
Yeah.
there.
And some
Then,
videos
yeah,
as well.
videos, pictures from this past retreat. Plus, we're going to talk more about what we have
Yeah.
upcoming for the
Yeah.
community. But make sure you jump in the FEA so you can get all this
Oh, because
information
we have
as
another
well.
retreat coming up.
We have another retreat coming up. We'll be releasing that information within the FEA. Spots will be limited.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure that we release it to our FEA ladies first and then
Yeah.
allow them to secure a spot. And then I'm sure it won't be any spots left. So you must be in the FEA if you want to
Yeah.
come join us for our next retreat.
Yeah, we sold out our first retreat right
Yeah.
away. So,
Yeah.
and we didn't even really talk about it on social media. So we just released it for the ladies in the Feminine Energy Academy. And it does bring a lot of value when you can see us in person.
Yeah.
So once again, so we can see your energy, we can read your energy, we can feel your energy. And the women that came, we really, really helped them transcend
Yes.
past a lot of the things that we just talked about today.
Mm.
Those subconscious blocks is helping them transcend past that. So being in person just takes it to a whole nother level. But in the meantime, you can still work on your energy. You can work on
Yes.
melting those blocks. That is my superpower.
Mm.
And I'm telling you, that is my superpower, is helping women identify their blocks and helping them release them so they can transcend past that. So you have the energetic container to receive the husband, to receive the marriage, to receive the bank accounts and that soft life that you deserve.
Yeah, so we
Okay.
definitely appreciate everyone jumping on today. We had a long weekend. We were able to enjoy
Yes.
ourselves, got massages,
Yes,
got some
yesterday.
good food to eat, and now we're just continuing to recoup and just
Yes.
relax. So we definitely appreciate everyone that jumped on today to join us on our live.
Yes. So if we didn't get to your question, when you jump in the FEA, just message me. I'm working this week on catching up on our messages. And so you can let me know exactly what you're going through. And then I will give you links to help you get started. All right.
Yes.
Okay, we're good. We love you ladies so much. Take care.